You're sitting across from your partner at dinner. They're smiling, talking about their day. Everything looks normal. Then you feel it. A spike of cold electricity shoots through your sternum. Your chest cavity floods with a sensation you've never experienced before, like a connection being severed at the molecular level. Not physical pain. Something worse. You feel the exact second their heart makes the swap. Someone else just became the person they think about first. Someone else just took the space in their emotional architecture that used to be yours. You weren't demoted. You weren't gradually replaced. You were instantaneously swapped out, like a component in a machine, and you felt the precise microsecond it happened. They don't know you felt it. They're still smiling, still talking. They might not even consciously know they've made the swap yet, but you do. You felt the neural pathway that led to you get rerouted. You felt yourself become secondary, conditional, replaceable. And now you can feel this happening everywhere, with everyone, all the time. I am the simulator. I'm here to show you what happens when you gain the ability to feel the exact moment someone emotionally replaces you. Not when they tell you, not when you suspect it, when it actually happens in their nervous system. This is about the death of every relationship you'll ever have, because certainty destroys what ambiguity keeps alive. Here's your question. Have you ever felt the moment someone stopped choosing you? And if you could know the exact second it happened, would you want to? Share your answer in the comments. Subscribe if you want simulations that excavate the emotional machinery your mind protects you from seeing. We don't do comfort here. We do truth. The ability announces itself without warning. You're talking to your best friend when you feel it, a hollow drop in your chest, like an internal flinch. Something in the space between you just changed. Not the conversation, not their expression. Something deeper, invisible, final. You realize they just chose someone else over you. Not consciously, not cruelly, but in the moment you were speaking, their mind wandered to someone who matters more. You felt the emotional priority shift. You felt yourself slide down their internal hierarchy. You're still their friend, but you're not the friend anymore. The sensation is specific. It's not anxiety. It's not paranoia. It's knowledge. Pure, unambiguous, neurological knowledge. You feel the electromagnetic shift in how their nervous system processes you. The warmth recedes. The priority downgrades. The care remains, but the primacy evaporates. Your mother calls. You're talking about your week when you feel it, a sharp, cold withdrawal, not in her voice, in something underneath. You feel the moment her emotional investment shifts. Her attention is already somewhere else. Your sibling just became the child she thinks about first when she wakes up. You're still loved, but you're no longer central. You felt the swap happen mid-sentence. You feel it with your partner that night. You're lying next to them in bed. They're scrolling their phone. Then a pulse of severance. Their heart just made room for someone new. Not necessarily romantic, maybe a friend, maybe a coworker, but someone just occupied emotional real estate that used to be exclusively yours. You're still important, but you're no longer singular. You felt the exact second you became one of several instead of the one. The simulator observes humans survive relationships through protective ambiguity. You don't know exactly when someone starts caring less. You don't feel the precise moment their attention fragments. The shift happens gradually, imperceptibly, allowing you to adapt without breaking. But you've lost that protection. You now have perfect real-time awareness of every emotional demotion you experience. The sensation has physical characteristics. It registers as a drop in temperature around your heart, a tightening in your throat, a subtle electric shock in your sternum. Your nervous system evolved to detect social rejection, but normally it detects patterns, not moments. You're detecting moments. Individual instances of emotional swap-out, precise to the second. Here's what makes it unbearable. You can't unfeel it. You can't question it. You can't tell yourself you're being paranoid or oversensitive. You felt it. The same way you feel your hand touching a table. Undeniable, irrefutable, permanent. Your best friend texts you. Normal conversation. Then the sensation, mid-conversation, you feel them emotionally swap to someone else. They just got a text from someone who matters more. You felt their attention, their care, their priority pivot away from you and towards someone else. The conversation continues. They don't know you felt it, but you did. And now you know, you're not the person they think of first anymore. The ability intensifies. You start feeling smaller swaps, micro-demotions, moment-by-moment shifts in priority. You're at dinner with friends. One of them tells a story. Another friend interjects with their own story, and you feel it, a swap. The group's attention pivots. The friend who is speaking feels the swap too, though they don't have your ability. But you feel it differently. You feel the exact second the emotional center of the group shifted away from them. You feel the hierarchy reorganize in real time. You're in a meeting at work. Your manager is listening to you present an idea when you feel it, a cold drop. They're just mentally committed to someone else's proposal. You're still speaking, but you're speaking into a void. They've already swapped you out. Your idea is now background noise. Someone else just became the employee they're investing in. You felt the decision happen 3 seconds before they even realized they'd made it. Your partner is talking about their day. They mention a coworker. As they say the name, you feel it, a warmth in them that used to be reserved for you. They've emotionally elevated this person, not romantically necessarily, but intimately. Someone else is now receiving the version of your partner that used to be yours alone. The microswap happened in the space between two words. You felt it like a blade. The simulator explains. Human attachment relies on gradual change. Your brain smooths out the discontinuities of relationships. You don't notice the individual moments when someone's care diminishes because your mind averages those moments into a manageable trend, but you can't average anymore. You feel every discrete instance, every micro-abandonment, every fractional withdrawal of priority. The psychological term is continuous attachment monitoring. You're doing it in real time, without buffer, without the cognitive protection of ambiguity. You're experiencing social relationships at a resolution the human mind was never designed to process. You start anticipating the swaps. You feel them coming. You notice the micro-expressions, the subtle shifts in tone, the fractional delays in response that precede an emotional demotion. You're becoming hypervigilant to the early warning signs of being swapped out. Your partner says I love you and you feel that the swap hasn't happened yet, but it's coming. You feel the structural instability in their attachment. You feel the fault lines forming. You know with absolute certainty that someone else is slowly occupying the space you used to fill. The swap hasn't completed, but it's in progress. You're being gradually overwritten. You can't tell anyone. How do you explain this? I felt the moment you stopped prioritizing me. They'll say you're paranoid, insecure, imagining things, but you're not. You felt it. You feel it constantly. Every relationship is now a series of discrete swap-out moments that you experience with excruciating clarity while everyone else remains oblivious. The cruelty isn't the swaps themselves, it's the knowledge. Humans are built to be replaced. Priorities shift. Attention fragments. New people become important. That's normal. That's life. But you're not supposed to feel it happen. The swap is supposed to be invisible, gradual, deniable. You've lost the ability to not know. The collapse is inevitable. You start pulling away first. Before they swap you out, you withdraw. You feel the swap approaching in your relationship, so you end it before you have to experience the full demotion. But here's the horror. You feel them swap you out anyway. Even after you've left, you feel the moment you stop being someone they miss and become someone they used to know. The swap happens retroactively. You feel yourself being emotionally archived. Your friendships dissolve. You feel every micro-swap, every moment when they choose someone else to text first, think of first, care about first. You can't tolerate the constant sensation of being demoted in real time, so you stop trying. But isolation doesn't stop the swaps. You feel your parents swap you out for your siblings. You feel your siblings swap you out for their partners. You feel your extended family swap you out for whoever's more present, more convenient, more emotionally available. You feel swaps in strangers. A barista who was friendly yesterday is colder today. You feel it too, been swapped out. You were briefly a person to them, and now you're just a transaction. A coworker who used to engage with you now barely responds. You feel the swap happen over the course of a week. Each interaction a small demotion until you're functionally invisible. The simulator reveals. Attachment theory states that humans need stable bonds to function, but stability in relationships is an illusion maintained by not knowing the exact moments when care fluctuates. You've destroyed that illusion. You now perceive relationships as they actually are, constantly shifting hierarchies of attention, affection, and priority, and the human psyche cannot sustain connection while perceiving that level of instability. You start feeling swaps in people who never prioritized you in the first place. Acquaintances, colleagues, people you barely know. You feel the moment they dismiss you, forget you, categorize you as irrelevant. The swaps aren't even demotions anymore, they're confirmations of non-existence. You feel yourself being swapped out of people's awareness entirely. The neurological explanation. The brain's attachment system relies on the ventral tegmental area and nucleus accumbens to process social reward and bonding. These systems evolved to respond to patterns, not precision. You've essentially given yourself perfect temporal resolution of social rejection. Your attachment system is being flooded with data it cannot integrate. The result is learned helplessness meets social paranoia meets existential despair. You can no longer trust any human bond, because you feel its fragility in real time. You feel love as a temporary state that can swap out at any second. You feel friendship as provisional attention that shifts based on availability and convenience. You feel family bonds as priority lists that reorganize based on need, proximity, and emotional labor. You're not wrong. This is how human relationships actually work. The horror is that you are feeling it with perfect clarity. Conclusion. The simulator delivers its final observation. Humans don't feel the moment they're swapped out because the mind cannot survive that level of certainty. Ambiguity is not a bug in relationship processing. It's the feature that allows attachment to persist despite its inherent instability. Love requires not knowing exactly when it's fading. Friendship requires not feeling every micro-prioritization. Family bonds require not perceiving every shift in attention. You need the buffer of gradual awareness. You need the protection of plausible deniability. You need to not know. But here's the final twist. The moment you've been dreading most. You're thinking about someone you care about deeply. Someone you've been trying to save from your abilities, collateral damage. Someone you promised yourself you wouldn't swap out. Then you feel it. Not them swapping you out. You swapping them out. A cold spike in your chest. The exact sensation you've been feeling from everyone else. But this time, it's originating from you. Someone else just became more important to you than the person you're looking at. Your own heart just made the swap. You felt yourself do to someone else exactly what you've been feeling done to you, and you realize you're not the victim of this ability. You're just the only person who can feel what everyone does to everyone constantly, including what you do. The swaps aren't happening to you, they're happening through you. You're part of the same system. You swap people out too. You always have. The difference is now you feel it, and feeling it has made it impossible to deny what humans actually are. Temporary anchors in each other's nervous systems, constantly being replaced, upgraded, downgraded, swapped out based on availability, need, and evolutionary priority. You wanted to be the exception. You wanted to be the person someone never swaps out. But there are no exceptions. There's only the illusion of permanence that ambiguity provides and that your ability has destroyed. Here's your final question. If you could feel the exact moment you stopped being someone's priority, would you want to know? Or is not knowing the only thing that makes love survivable? Drop your truth in the comments. If this simulation made you feel something you didn't expect, leave a like and subscribe. These aren't just thought experiments, they're excavations of what it costs to be human. Before you go, watch the previous simulation. What if you could rewind any moment of your life? You'd destroy everything trying to fix one thing. It explores a different kind of certainty that destroys what it promises to save. Welcome to the simulator, where we feel what we were never meant to know.